The people who go hiking in mountains can tell a lot of interesting things. They've seen many miracles, and these miracles can be found in simple things like glacier icicles covering every stone in the river, in a fallen pine cone that fell down last fall, in a quiet whisper of the wind touching the rock cliff to die out then, in a sunbeam sliding down a tree trunk. You just need to know how to notice such miracles, and there's no need to travel far abroad to enjoy nature's beauty. All it takes is a hike up to the mountains to cheer up one's mood. At the same time, walk on the fresh snow, slide down a slope, have a rest under a little pine tree, talk to your fellow openly, enjoy breathing such clear air that you might get dizzy, get closer to a waterfall to feel the tiniest water drops on your face, brought by the river from under the very clouds, where the glaciers never melt on the mountain tops. The waterfalls are real magic. Streams of water flow down from up high, picking up clouds of water mist. The higher is the waterfall, the more people enjoy that clean air. You may probably know what it feels like when after a thunderstorm the air is filled with positive ions, and such a change in air has a positive effect on people. It is known that the negatively charged ions have a positive effect on the human body because of their exciting effect on the biological cells. The same effect of natural ionization of air is near waterfalls. After the waterfall top, the water is spread into tiny drops, creating negatively charged ions. That's why near waterfalls we feel certain freshness and cool air. How do waterfalls form? The rovers born in glaciers have been carving their way of forming their bed through the mountain rocks. In some places, those rocks were soft and got easily washed away, creating rapids and small waterfalls. In some places, waterfalls have great heights due to a particular landscape created by nature. Avalanches and landslides are frequent in mountains, creating blockages on the way to the rivers. This creates lakes, and waterfalls appear at the lowest part of such dams. Often, rivers run on solid rocks, when water falls in form of wide flows. The waterfalls are also formed when the glaciers are melting, which creates deep trenches in the ground. Sometimes water washes away solid rocks and flows down the natural steps, creating cascades. There are many waterfalls in the Zaili-Alatau mountains in the Zaili-Alatau National Park, very close to Almaty. They are small but yet very beautiful. These mountains have 265 large and small glaciers, many of which give start to rivers. The National Park Ili-Alatau is located on the northern slope of the Zaili-Alatau mountain range, in close vicinity to Almaty. It lasts 120 kilometers from the Chemalgan River in the west as far as the Turgen River in the east, and it is 30 kilometers wide. Northern Tian is of the foothill plains, mountain slopes and valleys, plateau, lakes and riverbeds. The range of high-elevation landscapes and their ecosystems in northern Tian are popular among tourists and are thoroughly protected. Around 2,000 kinds of plants grow here, around 140 types of birds, several types of fish and reptiles, 190 types of animals inhabit these places. It is the Tian brown bear, Turkestan lynx, mountain sheep, roe deer, Siberian mountain goat and others. In present days, the zoologists can see the bears in the Almaty Wildlife Sanctuary located in the highest part of the Zailiyskiy-Alatau mountain range. And we will go to the Bear Valley, the former kingdom of brown bears. Upstream is the merging of two rivers, the Ozyornaya and Almaty rivers. There is the estuary of the Ayosai River that runs through a narrow, deep and inaccessible gorge. The gorge's name is translated as the Bear Valley. The Great Almaty Gorge that Ayosai joins has lots of tourists and people coming for recreation. And many people come to the Bear Valley with sculpture of 3 bears at the entrance, so people could get some rest and breathe in the waterfall air. Part of the way lies along the riverbed, where you have to jump from stone to stone until you see a beautiful waterfall around 5 meters high, exactly where the gorge is squeezed on both sides. On the left and on the right, There are tall cliffs, and people come here to enjoy the little natural miracle, having to get their feet wet. Some time ago, this waterfall was twice as high, but many years ago, the left slope collapsed and reduced in size. On the right side, there is a steep landslide, and if you climb on it, you can see another small waterfall. The Bear Valley narrows down and turns into a small rocky canyon, with another waterfall in the end, falling from a cliff 8 to 9 meters high. The river has several streams joining it, but tourists never get to these unreachable places. They prefer a comfortable picnic in the lower part of the valley with several perfectly flat spots. The Ilia-Alatau National Park has numerous historical and archaeological monuments, burial grounds, camps, workshops, rock paintings, natural monuments including the Chinturgen pine forest, a dense moss and pine tree taiga with the areas of permafrost remaining since the Great Ice Age, high-elevation Great Almaty Lake waterfalls. We are heading to the eastern part of Zaili-Alatau towards the Turgen Gorge, where water falls from a big height in the upstream. It takes a car ride and then hiking to reach the Kayrak waterfall. The waterfall is at the Bozgul River, which is a right-side stream of the Turgen River. You have to reach the town of Batan, where the Kishi-Turgen and Turgen rivers merge. We continue our journey on foot, moving along Turgen, following the indications. After 1 kilometer, we reach the junction of the Turgen and Chinturgen rivers. If we are to follow the Chinturgen Gorge, we can get into the relic Chinturgen moss pine forest, but today our goal is the waterfall, so we keep moving along the paved road. Legends say this waterfall is several thousand years old. It is located at the altitude of 2,130 meters above sea level and falls from the height of 55 meters. If you want to see its beauty in full, you will have to climb a ladder to the observation point. There's deafening noise up here, and the air is very pleasant to breathe. Kayrak in Kazakh means the grinder, since the Kayrak waterfall carved its way through solid rocks. The Turgen Gorge has the total of 7 waterfalls, and the second large one is the Bear waterfall. It is much closer to the road, and it's not that hard to get there along the path, which makes the 30-meter high Bear waterfall much more popular among the tourists than the Kayrak waterfall. Many people living at the local foothills have no idea you can find such beauty in small gorges and valleys that are tucked away. You want to get back here again and again to breathe in the smell of the Tanshan pine tree sap, enjoy the endless noise of mountain rivers, listen to the waterfall symphony, and breathe the ozonized air. We will go to the waterfall that is close to Almaty. It has no legends about it, but yet it is not less attractive. The easiest way is to take a ride to the Mideo Gorge and turn left at one spot, pass the stop sign of the national park, pay the ecological fee, and then reach the forestry. From this point you have to hike. At the road fork, we follow the right road that turns into a path. Soon you see a recreation camp with a little bridge over the river. Now we move to the left gorge, and soon we will see the waterfall. In winter, it turns to ice, and extreme rock climbers practice their ice climbing skills. The gorge here is very wide, and even in winter the sun reaches its slopes, and then pieces of molten ice fall down, so it is very dangerous to get close to the ice wall. There is another way to the waterfall, from the Kimasar Gorge and the pass. In summer, it takes a short hike along the picturesque path through the green alpine meadows, rich in burning nettle and flowers, in addition to powerful Tanshan pine trees. This is a very popular hike among the residents of Almaty, so even in winter the path is very well used. though not many people are brave enough to hike towards the waterfall itself, which is too bad as the view is amazing here. If in summer some people are brave enough to get under the icy shower, then in winter people can only observe it. Those who love mountain hiking wait for good weather, choose their goal and set off for a hike. Now we move to the west. No, not towards the Niagara Falls in the US and Canada's border, but to the western part of Zayli Alatau, to the Uzun Karagali Gorge, with the largest waterfall in this area called Ulken Karagali. The gorge is 50 kilometers away from Almaty, so we have to get back to the city again and move west. Many rivers start in the northern slopes of Ili Alatau, Turgen, Issyk, Talgar, Kaskelen, Aksay, Chemalgan, the small Almaty River, Big Almaty River, Kargali, Kurgayolde, Kastek, Uzun Karagali, and we came to the last one. The river starts at the northern slope of the main range of Zayli Alatau, where it starts from the junction of rivers Kargali, Maybulak, Yegarjan, Sarisay and Aliyak. The river belongs to the Kurti River basin that flows into the largest water body of the 7 rivers, the Ili River. In the upstream of the gorge, the range exceeds the point of 4,000 meters above sea level. The northern slopes are partially covered with small glaciers. There are no pine forests in the Uzun Karagali Gorge. Wild apricots and bushes grow in the lower belt in summer, barberry, rose hips and similar vegetation. All the 3 waterfalls are in different feeders, and if we want to see them, we have to take a walk. The walking part of hike starts after the water station. After 3 kilometers, we reach the mudslide dam. The first river, Smolshenbulak, flows into the river near the dam. If we are to follow the stream, then soon we will see the waterfall located at the altitude of 1,400 meters. The second river that flows in Bikshenbulak flows into Uzun Karagali, 4 kilometers above the dam. If we turn to the gorge, along the path, and then move along the narrow canyon, cross the stream on foot, then after half a kilometer we can reach the highest, fullest and most accessible waterfall of all 3 waterfalls. It is located at the elevation of 1,450 meters above sea level. Falling down from 30 meters, water is like boiling in a pot, and in winter the edges of this pot are covered with ice sculptures and become slippery. But sometimes snow doesn't fall for a long time, and you can easily move along the slopes, cross the river and search for the most beautiful places to take photos. The third source of water is located 7 kilometers from the dam. After the second river, the path gets much worse. After turning to the gorge, it is easy to lose it, and yet we have to walk 2 more kilometers along this path, but the reward is the great view. The third waterfall is at the height of 1,700 meters. Experts say that waterfalls can form only in places with solid rocks in the river basin. If the riverbed is easily carved by water, then the waterfall disappears since water destroys everything on its way. People say water can carve even a stone. The pots that form in the river basin on the path of retracting waterfall join each other and form gorges, some of which are as deep as the height of the waterfall itself. Waterfalls move for tens of years when boulders carved by the water flow start to move and fall out of their place and get taken away by the stream, and the place where water is falling from slow shifts gets lower or destroyed. This is how waterfalls disappear. But somewhere, new waterfalls are born in other places, and new legends appear with it. And while there are mountains on earth, there will be always people who want to see little miracles hidden in simple things like morning dew on a green strawberry leaf, in lacy icicles covering the stone in rivers, in the smell of pine branches, in the noise of wind blowing over the gorge and suddenly touching the rock cliff and slowing down, in the noise of the waterfall, in clouds that look like hats on the mountain tops. You just have to be able to notice such miracles, and you don't need to travel far away abroad to enjoy such beauty of our nature.